Hello everyone, welcome to a new video on the channel. Today we are wrapping up the month of October in my reading journal. And I had a really productive month for October. Whilst I didn't complete some things in my TBR, I did, however, read a lot of books. And for the most part, I enjoyed myself. I am going to share the stats with you in a moment, but as we set up the page here, I'm going to continue to share a little bit about my thoughts on this theme and also on how the month of October went overall. So for using this theme, I struggled a little bit with some of the pages. I really like how everything worked. The color scheme was okay, but I did have an issue with my reading log the most, and it did mean that I got disappointed and I wasn't really thrilled with how it was looking, so I just sort of gave up. I also found myself very not motivated to fill in my journal for the month of October, which was kind of frustrating considering I was reading so much. But outside of the actual bullet journal side of things, I had a really good month. I can't really complain about my reading. I did really well at a few different challenges. I took part in Becca's Spook-Oplathon and I did roll 6 different prompts. I technically finished 4 in total, but I did do the poll pick, which was one of them, and I had a book chosen and I did pick it up. I just unfortunately DNF'd it. So technically I did 5 out of the 6. When I rolled the last prompt, I was hoping that it'd be something easy, but the prompt was actually TBR Veteran, which was one that I did last month as well. And the next book on my list at that stage for being the longest on my TBR was, what is the name of it? A Shadow in the Ember by Jennifer L. Armentrout. And that's a very big book. And I rolled it at the very end of the month, so there was no way that I was going to be able to fulfill that prompt, so I just went, I'm not doing it. But for other things, I did really well. So for my A to Z challenge, I only have one author left now. I really hit that hard. I did a few arcs over the month of October, so there were quite a few areas where I worked extremely hard to be mindful about the books that I was picking up. That did mean that I had some errors along the way where I'd pick a book up for a prompt and not enjoy it. As you saw just then, the picture fell on top of the um, book before I could actually get it into place, so now it's crooked on the stats page there with the collage. But back to what I was saying, it meant that some of the books I picked up weren't great, but overall I had a pretty decent month. I read a total of 16 books. As you can see, the stats are now on the screen. I read I read a total of 6,316 pages. I had an average of 3.8. I read a total of 5 arcs, which I was very pleased with. I brought 5 books. I hired out 7. I read 8 series, 7 standalones, and I DNF'd 2 books. I had, for format, 3 physical, 7 ebooks, 5 audiobooks, and 1 mixed. For type, I read 14 novels, and I read 2 graphic novels, which I did enjoy myself with. For audience, I had 6 adult books, 1 new adult, 9 YA. And as you can see, I'm sticking down my little most liked and least liked books. So my favorite book of the month was The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young, and I didn't expect to enjoy this whatsoever, let alone it be my favorite book of the month. And it was so fantastic. I highly recommend reading it if you're into small town mysteries. I personally have never read one. Oh, I don't think I have in a very long time at least, and I was really hooked on it. It was so well done, and so was the fantasy element of it. It was just very subtle, but I loved every moment of it. The least liked book was one that I picked up to fulfill an A to Z prompt, and yeah, it was not very good. Unfortunately for me, I am filming this at night, a week after what we call Guy Fawkes in New Zealand, or Bonfire Night, you might know it somewhere else in the world. And there are people out there letting off fireworks illegally right now. So if you can hear little bits of popping in the background, it's just people being silly. And yeah, as you can tell, I'm not a fan of fireworks. Anyway, back to what we're doing here. My star rating for the month was, I read 1 2-star, 1 2.5 star, 5 3.5 stars, 6 4 stars, and 3 5 stars. I really enjoyed myself this month with my 4 and 5 stars, so I'm very happy about that. And I am very excited with the top three that I had. They were all fantastic books. My my three five-star reads were A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross, The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young, and Throne of the Fallen by Kerry Maniscalco. I read 6 fantasies, and I believe I read 7 romance novels and 3 paranormal. I think that's it. I am ahead of what's happening on the video right now, and I don't have my book with me showing me the actual stats, which is very bad of me, but I'm flying at the seat of my pants right now with this one, because I didn't actually plan on narrating this, and then I saw what the date was and realized I hadn't got this up. So if you've been waiting for this, I do apologize. I know it's very late, being the 12th of November already, goodness, that it's not up. Flipping to the front of the book, and we're going straight to the day's read pixel. You know, this is my favorite one to fill in on camera for you all, and I'm very pleased to inform you that the 7th of every month is still 2 books read every day. I think I said in another video that I had broken the chain and I was very heartbroken about it. But I watched this back before when I was making sure that everything going into the video needed to go in, and I saw it and I was so happy that I haven't broken the chain. And as usual, I always say I love watching this purple pen go down as inky as it is, and then as it dries, it goes that purple pop. It's one of my favorite things to watch when videoing this, editing this video back and narrating it, getting to watch it all come back to life. It's a small favorite thing, a small win, but I really am happy with how this month went. I only had 3 days, I believe, where I didn't read, and I tried exceptionally hard to read almost every day, even if it was just a little bit. I had a lot of time over October to read as opposed to other months, so like I've mentioned in previous videos, now that I'm not wrapped up doing like a lot of family, personal errands every day, I have a lot more time to spend doing hobbies that I enjoy. I actually got back into my artwork, which is what I'm supposed to do for a job. So if I can get back into doing those types of things, it'll be fantastic. Moving on to the A to Z challenge page, as you can see, I only have N to go, and I'm hopeful that over the month of November I will achieve that because I've already picked out the book and I am ready to go for that. I'm just finishing off a couple of other books and commitments that I have right now as I film this. I actually have a lot of books read already for November, which is crazy. Granted, some of them are very small. I am taking part in a very chaotic readathon, and it is keeping me very much so accountable, and trying to keep up with it has been a mission. But it does mean that I've read a lot more than I usually do to try and keep up with everyone else. So hopefully, the 18 spots that I put down in my November reading setup, reading journal setup, gosh, I cannot talk today, um, works, because I was a bit worried that I had all these extra spaces, but now I think I might need them. So fingers crossed. Moving into my reading data journal and flipping through to the usual pages, I am already at that point in the year where I'm deciding what pages will be coming over into 2024, and I can tell you right now that that first page with the stats is not going to be repeated for 2024. I just find it very repetitive and not needed. The fifth season and Nightbirds were the two books that I DNF'd this month. I think I might pick up Nightbirds again. I just feel like I went too long in between reading it and I just didn't want to read it. So maybe I'll have it as a pick up again later rather than a full DNF, but I did mark it down as a DNF because I did stop reading it. On to the series tracker now. I have, I think, only two books that I end up clicking off that I've already, ticking off, sorry, that I've already got down as series started, and then I added a few more back on the end. Oh, actually, I don't think I add on very many. I think it's only like two. Um, a lot of the series that I've started to read over the last 6 months obviously are new series, so I can't really say that I'm going to be successful at completing a lot of series this year. I do hope to spend some time being mindful about those series that I've started, and if I've only got one book left in it, to try and finish them this year. But it's sort of more like a goal for 2024 at this point because I just want to read the books that I know that I want to read rather than push myself to try and finish a series just because the end of the year is here. I'm already having a struggle trying to finish my 23 books in 2023 because some of the books that I put on that list have been delayed, so I'm not sure if I will be able to even get them, which really frustrates me because I am one of those types of people that wants to finish all the prompts and all the challenges. So we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. I do apologize that I didn't zoom out for this one. I just continue to fill it in. And I actually, when I was recording this, didn't fill in on my 23 books in 2023 page, which was in the black journal. I didn't actually mark off X's and O's, but I obviously read it in October, so I have done that off camera. I am now filling in my 23 at a glance. I really love this page, and what I did for this setup was I actually did all the circles and wrote down all the book titles before filming because I do find this to take up a lot of camera and battery time that I don't actually share. So I thought I'd just do it off camera and then we just come and do the cool colouring in part, which is my favourite to watch being put together. And so that is all the stats now filled in. Thank you so much for spending some time with me, especially as I've been quite distracted doing this voiceover. I could refilm it, but also I'd like to get this video up today. I am a bit distracted by all the fireworks going off. We have horses and I'm starting to panic, so I might go check on them before I come back and finally pick up a book that I'm very, very excited to read. And if I do finish it soon, I will let you all know about it in my upcoming video, which will be the mid-month reading update. I hope that you're all doing well, and until we next meet, I hope you have fun reading. Bye, everyone.